Art Loft is brought to you by
Where there is freedom, there is expression. The Florida Keys and Key West.
and the Friends of South Florida PBS. Art Loft. It's the pulse of what's happening in our own backyard, as well as a taste of the arts across the United States. In this episode, the art of collaboration. We meet Whipple and Morales, an inventive piano duo, creating excitement on the keyboard. Artist Tanya Candiani communes with nature for a meditation on migration. And the Perez Art Museum Miami goes all in on video and immersive art, two ways. Composers Kirk Whipple and Marilyn Morales have been making music together for over 2 decades. Whether it's choral music or musicals, this South Florida piano duo's performances are a rousing experience.
I'm Kirk Whipple.
And I'm Marilyn Morales.
We are a husband and wife team of composers and pianists and educators. And we make music, we teach, we write, we arrange, and one of our mottos is from Bach to rock and everything in between. Hopefully.
We're always learning.
Yes, we are. Yes, we
are. It's like the Cuban author said, you're born learning and you die learning, and that's our lives, you know.
Well, we met each other in 1988 at a piano competition in Portland, Maine.
I beat him.
Yes, she did. But I won.
Poor guy.
I won the prize.
And we got married in 1992. We wrote a 2-piano concerto. And let me tell you, it was like we needed a marriage counselor before we got married. You know? So, because I composed and he composed, and so we kind of like collided. It's almost like having 2 people cooking at the same time.
Yeah. You better really like hard. Each other's spices.
Yeah. Well, we had a really great referee, our composition teacher, Laudi Matthew, and he was like, "Okay, you do this and you do that," and he set us straight.
When that was for 2 pianos and a 50-piece orchestra on our wedding ring.
And we got married in between the movements.
Always remember.
These are pieces that have been percolating for quite a while. I mean, her music will always remember about the Cuban-American experience. She had been working on that for over 25 years before we premiered it, one little piece at a time. And after a while, she got the 24 songs, all the incidental music, and we were able to launch the world premiere production in 2022 in South Florida. And similarly, my piece Macabre Festo had been percolating, and we did a workshop of it in 2012 for 1 piano, 6 hands in choir. But I decided that the piece needed a little bit more of a fuller balance, and it gave me the opportunity for us to bring our friends across from Europe. We call ourselves the United Nations Piano Quartet. And so now Macabre Festo is for 2 pianos, 8 hands, bass and percussion. And choir and soloists.
We don't do anything small, you know. I don't know if you noticed, but everything we do is bang. You know, I mean, even
we have small pieces too.
Yeah, no, we do 1 piano, 4 hands, or 2 piano things, you know. But
and we've also written a lot of pieces for 2 pianos, 4 hands that we play, and 1 piano, 4 hands. With 2 pianos, 4 hands, you have 1 pianist on each piano. We're in our space. It's nice and easy. We have all the room we need. We don't have to worry about bumping into each other. Now, conversely, on one piano, four hands, one thing, it's a lot easier to find just one piano in a venue. Also, there's an added challenge, and it's more immediate because you're both right there, but there's a challenge because there's an intermediate step that we call traffic. Before you can interpret the piece, you go, oh, there's your hand. Oh, I got to get around.
Have you seen the size of those hands? I mean, they're huge. He took my pinky one time. We both missed the last chord. The last chord was like, you know.
So traffic,
traffic.
That's an issue with one piano, four hands. And the sound is different, of course, with one piano, four hands. It's more intimate, you could say, because you have I said just the one piano, but one piano. With two pianos, you have an expanded range of sonorities. It becomes more symphonic, perhaps.
And then with the two pianos, 8 hands is even harder because you have to not only work the traffic, each one of us in each piano, but also the traffic and also
the ensemble.
The ensemble is so hard, you know. And we were very lucky. I mean, it's like we really hit it on together great with Mark and, you know.
And we should say, too, that this setting of the United Nations Piano Quartet, there's 3 founding members, Marilyn and I, and Mark Solé-Leris. Our other founding member, Frédéric Chauvel, he's had to bow out for health reasons, but we're thrilled that Soraya Zlitni is stepping in for him.
So when Frédéric said, I can't come, Mark, I said, oh, how am I going to manage this one? I need somebody who has high-class piano playing, classical piano playing, but who can also play in different styles, because Kirk Whipple's writing is quite complex, especially rhythmically and also harmonically. And I thought Soraya could do the job, and she's definitely doing a very good job.
Thanks. So my name is Soraya, and I'm privileged to play Macabre Festo of Kirk Whipple, and honored to replace Frédéric Chauvel.
The United Nations Piano Quartet is in here for the world premiere of Macabre Festo. And in fact, we have an international cultural exchange program between Miami-Dade County and France, which helped us to raise the funds to bring them out here. And next year, we're going across to do the same piece with French vocalists and instrumentalists. So it's very, very exciting for us that we can do something that's international.
I mean, it's like in, you want to talk about Always Remember First and then Macabre Festo?
Sure.
You know, it's like, I love musicals, really love musicals, but I was trying to do something that could stand the times, like West Side Story or Sound of Music, you know, something that really, really was strong and not just repetitive. So I wrote, I have a salsa piece, I have a classical piece actually that I used, it's a Chopin etude, and then I wrote a trio on top of that. I kept the Chopin etude exactly the same, but I did a thing on the trio on top. I have a mambo, I have a rumba. So I mean,
and all very accessible to audiences.
Yeah,
it's not something that we're trying to get past the that you're trying to get past the audience.
And at the same time, it's challenging for the musicians. So it's not something that anyone can. Well, they could sing it, but they have to practice. You know. So I made it so, and it's tonal. I mean, there's nothing crazy. You know, wild.
Well, and conversely, my piece, Macabre Festo, 8 pieces. It's a smaller set. It's Always Remember was a 3-hour production, with including the intermission. And Macabre Festo is about a 50-minute set of 8 pieces. I set to American and British poems. And so it's a little bit of a different process. She wrote all the lyrics, the story, and everything for Always Remember, and I helped her by orchestrating. And whereas with Macabre Festo, the words were written for me by the greatest poets in history. And then I scored it for the choir and 2 pianos, percussion, and bass.
It's even hard to play just alone with our metronome. It's hard. So when our partner, it's harder, and with the other duo, complicated just to match.
Exponential, it gets more and more difficult. Marilyn being a passionate and romantic, expressive pianist, and Kirk is the wild. I don't know. He's just quite a phenomenon. This Kirk Whipple, and he's the rhythmical, energetic guy. So it's really a subtle mix of different kinds. And Soraya, in a way, has some qualities also of Fred, because Fred, she has a very good rhythmical sense. So that's part of the things why it works well. And I'm maybe the more expressive kind of guy. So it's and it's also a story of friendship and of love between people. And this is what we live together today.
There's immediacy to being a live performance that you cannot get from a screen, you can't get from an iPhone. When you get into the space and you hear the sonorities and you see the other people who are sharing the experience, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Really what it is for us, the real excitement is being there in the flesh with real instruments and people.
Yeah, I actually had a student one time that the mother kept asking, I said, when was the last time you took her to a piano recital? And so then she took her, and the girl was practicing. So she comes in the next week and she says, I don't know how to make her stop. And I said, that's not my problem.